Hello, and welcome back to another Age of Bison casted game. I'm Sir Shark Dad, and I'm joined here once again by my good friend McCleaves. How's it going, McCleaves?
I'm good, thank you.
So here we have PistolPete starting out on the right-hand side of the map using good old Russia. And then Tayo playing the old Stars and Stripes, good old United States of America. And we are on Gold Coast, an African map. McCleaves, you want to go ahead and give us a quick rundown of this map, since you seem to be the map expert?
Well, I think this is a very, or everyone knows this is a very gold-heavy map. There's gold mines everywhere, even on the islands. Nice trade post line, choke points in the middle. I like this map for fast fortress, but also rush, because you can really take the center. The map control is quite easy on this map because of the cliffs. Will be very interesting how Russia plays that, because usually Russia is the one that goes for map control. Also, I want to point out that Russia against the USA is a very up-to-date matchup. Is something. So first of all, just in game terms, it's a very interesting matchup because, well, Russia is one of those map control civs with early aggression, but the USA can kind of counter that kind of play, and that's going to be really interesting to see what the USA player has in mind here.
Right, I think that it's typical that United States would generally struggle with early aggression, and you would expect that from Russia, but Russia has kind of been morphed and changed as a civilization to be able to do a fast fortress, not necessarily depend completely on the rush. And the United States has changed in where it's been around for a while, it's been reworked a bit. And I main the United States, admittedly, so I have a bit of a bias here, but there's definitely some H2 play that you can potentially hold off Russia, and if the game goes late, then you definitely see the United States take off. But it really depends on the mechanics of each player. So what we see right now is Chinese immigrants coming in for the United States player Tayo, immediately going for that trade post start. I know this is something that he likes to do as he's been theory crafting. Let's take a look at the deck. Pretty standard. You could see an FF out of this, generally speaking.
I think it's a very interesting choice to go for China on this particular map, because you only have 2 good trade posts available to you.
Right. Yeah. Maybe it's definitely not my choice, but I can see that you want the shipments coming in, especially depending on the Federal Age cards that you send in.
Maybe he has something special in mind. I don't know.
CDP
He's sending French immigrants as well. That was really quick.
Very quick. Very surprising to see that, but I guess the Chinese immigrant pop would provide the XP. And then, of course, interesting H4 cards, Minuteman companies, and then captured rockets. So who knows? Maybe some variation of the Minuteman build. Let's go over to PistolPete right now. And even more interesting. Schooners. I have not seen Kamchatka expositions ever in a deck.
Yeah, it's a card, an old card that got rebranded, but it's basically it's a very old card. It just buffs Cav a little bit. Extra line of sight, extra HP.
Heavy H2 shipments.
Yeah, and a water presence with schooners and some boats.
Interesting.
I disagree about the Royal Mint for Russia. I don't think it's a very good card for Russia. Russia isn't typically a very gold intensive civ in H3.
And refrigeration,
but except for that, maybe switch it out with Fish Market if you're going water anyways.
So Quartermaster coming in 400 wood with a 17 Vil age up, and switching all those guys onto wood. Let's see what Tayo's getting up to. Pennsylvania. So Pennsylvania is a pretty interesting one. You can expect a gold intensive army. So I believe Pennsylvania gives you the meeting house, the unique meeting house that gives you some buffs. So you can end up getting Pennsylvania Pound is primarily what it gives you for is the gold trickle, and then you have the native assembly. Or the native, I know it's a native building, gives you extra courier de bois that you can send in, Cree trackers, things of that nature. So definitely more H2 play. He's already taken both trade post lines. Let's get the Fog of War off. Let's see what they see.
It's a really interesting choice to go for Pennsylvania. Maybe it's something about the tempo, but like on a map that's basically full of gold.
Yeah, it's a pretty good state age up that I've actually been using a lot more in my ranked games personally. Just because it gives you such a H2 viability for coin intensive armies, Hussar and regulars. But I'd like to see what he does because you can also go natives with it, so it's pretty flexible. We see a forward blockhouse being put up by PistolPete, so as we would expect, a typical Russian FB forward base coming in. Got hunting dogs as well, so getting his market upgrades. He's got some really good timings going on right here, I think. There's good pacing.
Yeah, it's right in the middle where I thought it would be. Like this is the prime place for a forward base, spotted by the U.S. Explorer, by the way.
All right, good scouting on the port of Tayo. So now he's going to see what's coming up next. His H2's coming in. I believe he already popped his Minutemen. I'd like to see where they're at.
No, he used the trade post levy.
Oh, well, I guess this cooldown will end up. Oh, okay, interesting.
It's a shared cooldown.
Barracks building. Got the outpost going on right now. Let's see what he sends in next. Stored up 2 shipments at this point.
Oh. And there comes wood.
And Virginia General Assembly. So we can expect some sort of H2 play, but then probably transitioning right into an FF. So this is probably a semi-FF. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Russian side. Immediately going for those 10 Strelets and sending in the Cossack shipment. So that's probably going to be his military shipment point, sitting on 17 settlers, still making some more. Still slowly gathering up that wood from the Quartermaster age up.
So one really interesting thing here is that Strelets have a pretty short range for a skirmisher, and on the other hand, the regulars have a long range, so they actually have the same range, and that's going to be very interesting. Strelets won't get the first hit.
No, they will not. But they trade effective, so I mean, if you can mass them well enough.
Yeah.
But this outpost should be able to hold against just 10 Strelets. Immediately getting some idle time.
It's
out
still
of those
interesting
settlers.
because usually the Strelets would have the first shot, and we can just see what happened here. He picked off one of the Strelets and then ran, and you can't do that with normal musketeers.
Yes. So 14 to 14.
Specifically against you can't do it against other skirmishers either. Like this matchup is very interesting on the infantry side. I really like the sort of it's not synergy, but like it's a very special matchup.
Well, the early outpost is definitely going to deter any aggression. I think honestly, if I'm PistolPete here and I'm seeing that early outpost and I'm like, okay, I can try to commit to the H2 push, but I know it's going to be difficult. I already know that he's committed to 10 regulars. I would probably try to scout this out. Let's see if he sees it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you know what? Honestly, I'll just go FF. You know, I'm not going to commit to this. I'm just going to go ahead.
Water.
Yeah, I'll just transition out. I don't need to press this because the more resources I put into it, the more I'm giving the United States time to boom. So then if I can get ahead and then immediately go to the Falconets, then I would say the semi-FF was accomplished because I slowed down his age up. But it seems as if... Oh, huge raid here.
Yeah, that hurts. And meanwhile...
Job on Tayo's part. 10 regulars coming in. He's got a few musketeers here shooting down these markets when he doesn't need to be. He needs to be more focused on this micro right here because the Strelets are now trading unfavorably. He's got Hamiltonian upgrades.
Well.
Yeah, exactly. Hamiltonian economics coming in, so that will provide him. That arrives, and then he's able to get his market upgrades for free. But the recent buff that they've gotten is that they used to train upgrades slow, but now it's in regular time. So it's a very good card.
I thought it was always... That's okay, but I think like this raid that Russia got in is even more hurtful when you think about that these villagers would have gotten all these market upgrades for free.
Completely agree. Hamiltonian.
That's an early boyar, so I don't like it. I would, yeah.
Strela Cossack and Upper Nick.
Some water.
Right. I mean, it's going to give a huge. It's going to give not a huge, but a nice advantage, I guess, in combat, but I still think he's probably dedicating a little bit too much, but he has a bit of a sizable mass here, and once that comes in, it's going to give him quite the combat edge. Tayo, once again, still just sending in regular shipments, just committing to a mass of regulars. If you can commit to a mass of Strelets, they will shred that, but you still see those upgrades now coming in, which is huge for an H2 economic edge. 14 settlers, though, after that raid. Not the best number, 8 minutes to 9 minutes into the game versus a Russian 26. And here we go. That Strelet mass is really starting to go to work against these regulars.
He does have the Minutemen available. I'm surprised he didn't call them yet.
Few state militia, which will be countered by the Cossacks. I feel like... I don't know, what do you think? You think the Strelet mass is probably committing just a little bit too much in this, or is this kind of favorable to Russia to kind of just send it in and go after this mass?
Oh, he is idling the U.S. economy, so I think it's not that bad.
In a big way, and then here are those Cossacks. I don't know if they're going to take out that Courrier de Bois. He's got that guy sitting there, and the Musketeers are going to slowly chip away at his health, but they got range resistance. He's chasing him around, and Tayo's just kind of hoping that this outpost will
just
do
in
work.
time. He got the
and he just got it in. Awesome. He still hasn't called the Minutemen pop, and let's see what Russia sees.
But look at the hunt situation for Tayo. Oh, there's a hunt in the front of his base, and that's it.
And even more Strelets just coming in
It's
as he's just playing. He's just running all around the TC, just trying to slow it down. But the thing is that he's got all these idols sitting in the TC, all 14 just idling right now. He's got long rifles coming in, but I don't know if that's really going to help him.
He should have gotten those Minutemen already.
Going back to the PistolPete side, he's still just massing a few idle villagers here, but 26 versus the 14, another 10 Strelets coming in as he's just constantly pounding away at this, and then 3 over 3 settlers coming in. I wonder what he's going to send in next. He's sitting on a shipment right now. Maybe now's the time to kind of switch to water to see if you can secure an even further economic edge.
It would also be a very good time to age.
He does have the resources to do it, but instead he's once again 13 Strelets.
I don't like that, no. He's done enough damage.
He's just ignoring this regular at this point, just saying, forget it, I'm sieging down the barracks, I do not care. Only 8 siege attack on these guys, so it's going to take a while. Cossacks are a little bit better. Even more Strelets coming in.
TC is still shooting.
Here's the thing that I always forget, though, when playing against Russia, especially as the United States, is that Hussar are an option, and they need to be your option. Hussar can beat Cossacks one-to-one on a pound-to-pound matchup and will shred these Strelets, and I feel like the temptation is always to go barracks at your start with the United States just because they have such good infantry, but Hussar are definitely need to be mixed into your composition in the early game when it comes to facing Russia.
Yeah, Hussars are very crucial, but if you can make only Hussar, that's always the limitation of a stable. With a barracks, you can make 2 sorts of units. With a stable, you can only make 1 in
Well, he
H2.
did send in the 700 wood, if we remember earlier, and that could have been used to make the stable instead of the outpost, but...
He still has enough wood, yes.
Maybe Chinese immigrants was a little too greedy.
Trade loan. I do think that this idling of his economy is absolutely disastrous. Yeah, what's he going to do now?
I'm not sure.
He is actually upgrading the trade line. I called it.
Let's head back over to PistolPete's side. He may be going for that age up right now. 700 coin coming in, and he's just got a huge economy just going right now. 32 settlers, and still just the 1 blockhouse. He doesn't need any much more, and he's got these more musketeers coming out trying to get a little bit more siege in. But with these houses down, I mean, Tayo's as good as done at this point.
What's his housing situation? Oh, no, it's okay. He doesn't. I mean, it does cost him a fair few resources, but.
And there's the GG being called.
And he resigns. Yes.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what he was supposed to do, you know, at that point when the rush was coming in. I mean, I guess if anything, United States can fast fortress and you can get the rolling artillery card, right? And then you can shred a lot of what Russia has. But I mean, really, perhaps the 700 wood card not going Chinese immigrants, immediately putting down a stable and barracks. A 5 Hussar pop against those Strelets would have been huge, I think.
Yeah, so I think if he had used some of the wood to make some walls, and maybe maybe he has maybe he had a state militia card in the deck that would have been really nice. Also, the state capital could have been used to spam a little bit more tower, since he did have a lot of wood. And the Minutemen, he obviously forgot about them, and yeah.
Well, the only state militia card that he would have had was if he aged up with Virginia and then went Culpeper Minutemen and sent that in, getting another
No,
Minutemen pop.
yeah, there is an H2 state militia card he doesn't have in the deck though.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking Minutemen. The state militia, I believe it's the 8 state militia that he could have sent in, probably would have performed a little bit better against the Strelets. But I think that's about it. A quick and easy and clean win for PistolPete here in their matchup.
Well played.
Yeah, well played. Good classic Russia Rush, which is what we typically expect out of them. So
exactly.
Yeah. So
It's
I appreciate
exactly what we expect on this map, and like sorry for cutting you off, but
No, you're good.
this map just really lends itself for it because of how you can take the map very easily. USA was out of hunts really quickly, and it's a very, very good rush map in that sense.
That blockhouse placement was very key to controlling a whole lot of resource right here, to your point. Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you guys listening in on this next casting in our Sunbros 1v1 tournament. And if you enjoy the content that we're putting out, like what we're doing here, then please go ahead and hit a like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment. Always helps with the traction. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next one.